The Ministry of Education and Culture has made the employment of youth a top priority since the establishment of the Youth Employment Services in 2012. The Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program is an ongoing initiative geared to help the youth of the Virgin Islands find employment. I am your GIS host, Bria Smith, and on this program series, partnered business of the Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program, Mr. Dion Stout of STO Enterprise Limited, join me to discuss the program as the ministry continues to register young people seeking employment in the territory. On part 2 of our program, Mr. Dion Stout of STO Enterprise Limited share his experience with the success of the MEC apprenticeship program. I am your GIS host, Bria Smith, and when we return, it's another enlightening program on youth employment in the Virgin Islands, so stay tuned.
The government of the Virgin Islands remains committed to stimulating the economy.
I would say my favorite part of working at Marine Max Vacations is the fact that I'm unsupervised. I'm given the ability to show my work ethics to the highest degree. I'm given a chance to actually prove myself.
Mr. Cuppy is very enthusiastic. He's very articulate. He asks the right questions. He's punctual. So far, I'm very pleased with his performance. This gives our young people exposure to opportunities that they may not have had if it weren't for the ministry. Many times positions are advertised and young people may not feel like they're qualified for the positions. This gives them an opportunity to see what's available, gain access to various companies, and in doing so, it gets them a foothold, as it were, into the company so that they can gain knowledge and experience and work their way up from there.
The Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program is available to young persons between the ages of 18 to 29 who have been registered at the Youth Employment Services and are currently unemployed. To register, visit the Youth Employment Services office on May Street next to the old post office building or telephone Mr. Albert Whitley at 494-0045 or 541-1981. The program is open to any business or industry partner who is willing to partner with the Ministry of Education and Culture to provide employment to young persons who meet the criteria for selection for a period of 6 months. Interested businesses are invited to contact Mrs. Brenda Letsom-Tai at 468-2151 or email her at brletsom-tai@gov.pg.
For any youth seeking a job, I would definitely say go for it. You know, at the end of the day, you get a job, you get the training, you know, it's things that you can walk away from and it will stick with you for a lifetime.
Welcome, Mr. Stout. It's a pleasure to actually have you here.
I'm honored to be here.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Our business, STO Enterprise, we're a full-fledged architectural firm with project management skills. Many of you will know that we're actually managing the Cruise Pier development project at this time, and we've been involved in a number of big architectural design projects throughout the territory over the last 15 years.
Okay, so right now you are currently partnered with the Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program. How did you learn about it in the first place?
Well, actually, Miss Brenda Tai, who is a very hardworking person in the Ministry of Education, she reached out to us, and just by her telling us what it's about and what they're trying to achieve, we jumped full in.
Okay, so what were some of those determining factors?
Well, we always hear about there's a number of unemployed youth in the BVI, and me as a younger person that still think to seem that I'm young, although when I sit down with some of my friends and we say 20 years ago we did this, it seems to reality strikes in and showing me that I'm actually not that young. And we said the young people don't want to work, they don't want to do this. We always hear these negative stories about young people. But when I was at that age, I always wanted to contribute. And I'm sure the youth of today want to contribute as well. So why not give them that opportunity?
What do you think are some of the challenges that some businesses face with employing youth of the Virgin Islands?
I don't think there's a challenge in employing, it's a challenge in retaining, because the expectations of the apprentice or the youth may be different from those of the business owners. And again, there's differences in opinions throughout the industry, but when you look at the young people today, they need to understand that once you're stepping into a business, there's rules and regulations that you have to follow. It is a business. It's not like when you're in high school, you may get away with doing this or doing that. The businesses are there to make money and also to provide a service. So if you're not providing a proper service to the clients of the business, that business could fail. So you have a deep-rooted responsibility to your employer to ensure that what you do reflects upon them. So sometimes you may have someone that comes into your establishment and they don't understand why certain things should be this way, what expectations are there and that should be in place at all times. And there's that disconnect that sometimes the youth or the employer may then pathways.
So how do you ensure that your apprentice does the things that she is supposed to do? And basically, how does the ministry ensure that this apprentice that is a part of their program is actually doing well or doing a poor job?
That's a good question. What we did from day one is I assigned at least 2 mentors within my industry to this apprentice. And I've told her from day one, I want her by the end of the month to know everything about that everyone else in the room knows, so that if she's there by herself, she could do something that somebody else does. So we make sure that our apprentice is a part of the family from very early. She knows about every aspect of our business, our core business, so that she can excel within that.
In this feature, we interviewed apprentices Miss Kenisha Pitt, who is currently stationed at STU Enterprise Limited, and Mr. Jeremy Cuffey, an apprentice at Marine Max Vacations.
My favorite part about working at STO Enterprise would be doing something that I really like to do. I like drawing, and here I get to do that, and I get to grow more as an architect, and the people here and the environment here is really great.
My favorite part about working here at Marine Max Vacations would definitely be the fact that I work unsupervised. You know, I'm given a chance to really show my work ethic, show what I'm all about. They trust me enough to the point where they can leave me to get work done, and they come back and it's done to a satisfactory point. I enjoy the staff. They're really nice people. You know, they've helped me settle in really quickly, get rid of that ice, that cold shoulder, you know, that you get when you just start a job. It feels like a second home. They're really nice people, you know, and they really brought it in for me, so. At the end of it all, if you really do go ahead and push and give it your all, there's I say 98% chance that you would end up walking away with a job, you know, and you walk away with training, knowledge, even if it's a job that you've never been in before, you know, you get to learn something different. Whether or not it's a field that you originally saw yourself in, you know, it gives you a chance to explore your options and, you know, just take a walk on the wild side, I guess, just to explore things.
I would say give it a try because it is quite easy to join and be in. They make sure that they properly prepare you for interviews so that you do well on them when the time comes, and it is a great learning and working experience. The MEC apprenticeship program has benefited us by giving us proper interviewing skills so that we are able to present ourselves in a professional manner in interviews. It also helped us to properly construct our resumes so that we can send them out to companies, and it benefited me by giving me the opportunity to work in the actual field that I studied for in college.
As an individual, greatly, because at the end of the day, I've walked away with so much, even if it was just a 2-day training. You know, I came out learning a lot more about myself, about the job world, you know, and it's really nice because at the end of the day, I can bring all of that back into the job world and show what I'm really about, and you know, it helps display my work ethics, you know, in ways that I wouldn't have been able to in the past.
Do you see your business continuing partnership with the Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program?
I don't see why not. As long as we have the capacity and the space to take more persons on, we definitely will, because it is a good experience, and if we're able to get somebody in who could help our core business grow, we'll definitely do it.
So what would you tell to other businesses or local industry partners? What words of encouragement would you give them to join and partner with the MEC apprenticeship program?
The fact of the matter that the Ministry of Education went out and screened these persons. These persons have shown the initiative that they want to actually be a part of a program, a part of a job, the job market. And it makes it easier for someone like that to be hired in our eyes, because I liken it to, say, going through TSA. The person at the airline check-in desk will be happier to see somebody that went through TSA because they know they have been pre-screened. They would be less likely to cause disruption on the plane. So these persons have been pre-screened by the Ministry of Education, and I think that gives them an inherent advantage to step into somebody's business and want to produce from day one.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
I really like that.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure having you here, Mrs. Stout. You have done a wonderful job, and we look forward to seeing you partnered with the MEC apprenticeship program in the future.
Definitely, we will like to do that.
Thank you. We also had the opportunity to interview Ms. Julie Swartz, owner of Green and Clean VI Limited in Virgin Gorda, representatives of the businesses partnered with the program. Let's take a look at what they had to say on their experience with the Ministry of Education and Culture's apprenticeship program.
I'd like to welcome you all to Green and Clean VI Limited. My name's Julie, and welcome to the first recycling facility in the British Virgin Islands. We are setting up our operation on a phase basis, and our first phase, which is in operation, is recycling the glass of the British Virgin Islands. So far, having an apprentice through the MEC program has been a very good experience. It has allowed me to have some assistance with labor cost, which is nice in a new business, and providing me access to the market of an employee that I'm looking for, which is young guys who can do manual labor like we have out here and want to do something that makes a difference in our environment and our community. I think it's a win-win kind of situation. If you have positions that are able to be filled by younger people in our community, why not give it a try? You can find some great individuals who just haven't been out there to be tapped into yet. Access to affordable labor, because in today's labor market in the BVI, everybody wants a lot of money to do some work, and as a new business, that type of funding isn't there as a startup. So I think it's a great way to help people who are starting up in business, as well as help those find jobs who need to get a job. I have known Mr. George since he was a very young man, and I actually enjoy the pleasure of his company. I like seeing a young person who has direction in their life and wants to do something with themselves in a way that they feel good about it.
On this program series, we have spoken with Program Coordinator and Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Culture, Mrs. Brenda Litsum-Tai, and Partnered Business of the MEC Apprenticeship Program, Mr. Dion Stout of STO Enterprise Limited, as the ministry continues to register young people seeking employment in the territory. For more information, contact the Ministry of Education and Culture at 284-468-2151 or by email at mec@gov.vg. Interested businesses can contact Mrs. Litsum-Tai directly at 284-468-3351 or by email at brletsum-tai@gov.vg. For the Department of Information and Public Relations and the Ministry of Education and Culture, I have been your GIS host, Bria Smith, and it has been a pleasure having you with us. To keep up with the latest events and get your official government news, visit the government website at www.bvi.gov.vg or follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at BVI Government.